Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on what time you're listening to the podcast. Welcome to Truckers USA American. My name is Miguel Reynoso. Fox. Today I want to talk about this new law that basically passes in St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah, basically the law says here that St. Paul just passed a new law that says find someplace else to park, because it looks like the city of St. Paul just passes a law that prohibited commercial vehicles to park in the city. And this new law is going to take effect on January 1st, 2024. And this law just passed it. And, this law was basically a copy of Minneapolis law that was passed on 2021. They basically prohibited commercial vehicles to park, inside the city limits. And the truckers, the Minneapolis Truckers Association is saying that this law is not right, that it's not fair, especially right now that the trucking industry is going to a rough moment, and some owner operators and trucking companies are struggling to survive this situation right now. And it is not fair that some cities like St. Paul's are implementing these new laws, because targeting the truck drivers and the trucking company, basically the trucking industry. The problem with this is also the Minnesota Trucking Association also says that this new law is basically gives the police officer some sort of power or like anything that said, this guy is parking here illegally and I'm gonna give this guy a parking ticket. And the problem with this is, people, that some of these city, they have a lot of warehouse inside the city limits, and this warehouse, they basically order a lot of stuff and we have to deliver. And you guys know that some of these cities are old cities, and when this city was built, they were built in the 1800s, and those cities were not designed for this kind of vehicle, because back on those days they have buggies and stuff like that. And the problem with this is like, this is going to create a lot of problems for the trucking industry, and some people that are going to deliver stuff into the city, because see the thing is, like, if you got a delivery that goes into Minneapolis or St. Paul, and that warehouse is inside the city limit, what you're gonna do is, this is what I usually do if I got a load that go into St. Paul or Minneapolis. I just try to be there, first thing in the morning, around 6, 5, 4 o'clock in the morning, and park, on the side of the road, because some of these places, they don't have parking lots. It's basically a warehouse, and it has a couple of loading docks, and you have to back into those docks, and you have to block basically the street, because they don't have, no parking. They don't have no space to park inside those warehouses, because those warehouses are inside the city. And you show up, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, it's just to wait because you have a 6, 7 o'clock a.m. appointment, and you want to, be there early so you don't have to hit all the traffic going into the city. That's going to be a problem, because now you're not going to be able to do that, because if you go to the city and you're sitting there, a police officer can come and say that you're parking there illegally, and they're going to give you a parking ticket. I don't know how much those parking tickets are going to be, but I mean, if it's $50, that's a lot of money, because right now we're not making any money. I mean, and we're not in the position to spend any money. And I think this new law it's not right. I mean, it's just not fair, because why these politicians, why they don't ask those warehouses to move out of the city? Because if the problem is like they claiming over here that some of these heavy vehicles or the commercial vehicles are basically messing up the city streets and the city infrastructure, why they don't ask this warehouse to move out of the city? But I'm guessing they're not gonna do that because they want the taxes that those warehouses are paying, and it is easy to target the truck driver or the trucking companies because, hey, if they give tickets to the trucking companies or the owner operator, we have to pay for the ticket because some of those states, they will suspend your license and they put a warrant if you don't pay a parking ticket. Just imagine that. These places, they would issue a warrant for your arrest for a $50 parking ticket. So, but this is not fair, to be honest. It's not fair. And basically it says that under the new St. Paul law, the new law basically prohibited the commercial vehicle to be parked on the city limit street unless the vehicle is less than 26,000 pounds. The problem with this is like, okay, they don't want semi trucks inside the city. Ask those warehouses to move out of the city, and have those warehouses ship whatever they sell into the city, into a 24, 26 foot truck or whatever that goes and deliver inside the city. But I'm guessing they're not going to do that because, like I said before, they don't want to lose these warehouses taxes because it's all about the money. But it's not fair because it's another thing. Now, let's just say you have a 7 a.m. appointment to make a delivery in one of those warehouses in the city, right? And the only closest truck stop that you can stay is what? 60 miles away. Now, you're going to have to stay there, right? And wait till you get your hours back. Because remember, we used to go to those places and show up 5 o'clock in the morning so we can do our break over there and deliver the stuff, and we don't have any problem with the ELD, because that's another problem, the ELD and this appointment plus the rush hour. Because if you're 70 miles or 60 miles away from that delivery and you start rolling around 6 o'clock in the mornings to make it at 7 a.m., you're not going to make it, because sometimes in these cities to run 5 miles on the rush hour is going to take you 2 hours or an hour. I might be exaggerating, but you know what I'm talking about. So you're going to be late. And some of these places, if you get there late, they're going to make it a big deal. So, and honestly, I know some of the lows that go to those places pay good, but I'm going to try not to go to these places because, I don't want to go there and get a surprise that somebody give me a ticket for $2,200. Whatever the price is. Even $50 is too much. So, and this law is going to be in effect next year, January 1st. So, I guess after January 1st, I don't think I'm going to be going into St. Paul anyway. So, bad. And I know a lot of drivers going to be the same. I'm like, well, I'm not going to take the risk because what's the point of me staying in a truck stop, start heading that way at 6 o'clock in the morning because my appointment is at 7, and I'm not going to make it because I'm going to hit all the rush hour traffic. So, see, that's the problem. And another thing is what about if you don't have the hours? And by the time you get your 10-hour break, it's going to be 6 a.m. You probably make it. It's just there is no traffic. But remember, 7 o'clock in the morning, and you get your hours back at 6 a.m. There's no way in hell you're going to make it, even if you're 30 miles away with the rush hour. And this is the stuff that these people, they don't care. Man, they claiming that, these commercial vehicles are messing up the roads and the street, and some drivers are are messing up the city infrastructure or whatever. But the thing is like, think about this. Those city, if you guys know that those city were built in the 1800s, and in the 1800s, while people were driving with horses and buggies, right now we're driving a 70-feet vehicle. Then ask those warehouses to move out of the city, and problem solved. That's it. All you need to do is ask those warehouses to move out of the city. But they're not gonna do that because they don't want to lose those. They don't want to lose the taxes. But that's that's my opinion. They want to solve the problem. Ask the warehouse to move out of the city. Period. And have those warehouses deliver whatever they sell in the small trucks, 24-foot or 26-foot or whatever. Deliver the stuff in the city, and problem solved. But I guess it's easy, give the truck driver a parking ticket, then do that. It's more money coming for the city. But that's what's going on with these people. Well, folks, another survey here, and it says here that a new study shows that when the risky cities, to drive into is basically, I don't know who doesn't know this, but Atlanta, Philadelphia, New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, and it says here that a new study shows that some of the metropolitan areas, especially if the city is close to a international airport, and some of these cities they have the highest risk of having a crash or a collision involving a commercial vehicle. And they say this is due to the rush hour and the high volume of vehicles moving in the road. I mean, come on, you don't have to do a survey for this or study. I mean, of course, rush hour, you're always gonna have accident on the rush hour because there's always a guy that's running late for work, and he doesn't want to get late to work because that might be his third strike, and he probably gonna end up getting fired. And this guy is running around on the shoulder doing whatever he can to get on time, and boom, he crashed into a semi truck or any other vehicle or whatever, and then that's something you cannot prevent because it is rush hour. Like they say here, that usually rush hour, I don't know, this is high, this is high, I don't even know what to call this, but this is a top secret information, I guess. They usually rush hours are between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. But the point of this survey is like that if you driving around those cities, especially Dallas, Fort Worth, and Chicago, New York City, you have to be aware of some of these heavy traffic and people that are desperate to get to whatever point they're going, because like I said before, this guy might be running late and it might be his third strike, and he probably gonna end up getting fired. So, and it also says that especially at night after 3 p.m. between 3 p.m. and 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. it's also a heavy vehicle moving on the road, and that's when a lot of accidents also occur. And again, everybody knows this. So I don't know how much money these people spend doing this kind of survey or this new study, but this is stupid. Because and it says here that Michigan and I-94 and Merrimar Road is basically in that interchange, because it's a complex airport interchange. this is an area that basically a lot of accident happens because due to the heavy traffic, because of the airport, and a lot of drivers not paying attention. Of course, that's the main reason all the accident happens, because somebody's not paying attention. Also says here the New York, especially in the George Washington Bridge near Riverside Drive. I know that area very well because I grew up in New York. And says here that this is basically one of the highest, one of the highest crash point in New York, especially due to the heavy traffic going into the Bronx. I mean, for somebody that doesn't know New York or never been around the George Washington Bridge and crossing into the Cross Bronx and all that, let me put it this way: 24/7, there's always traffic over there. There's no rush hour time on that place. The rush hour is 24/7 on that place. It's always accident happening that crossing the bridge, especially going into the Cross Bronx. Okay, because there's too many cars going through there every day and night. So these places are, I'm telling you, these places are really crazy. Also, this says in New Jersey, Highway 19 and Highway 80 in Patterson. A conflict is there. I'll be honest with you, I know this area very well, especially in Patterson and Highway 19. I don't know exactly how many accidents. I mean, the only thing that I can for a fact tell you about this place is like you gotta be careful where you're going on that curb, because it's really slippery and you can easily go, especially in a car, especially if it's like raining and it's like freezing. Yeah, you can basically roll over your car easily over there. And I seen cars, rolling over there like it was a spin wheel. So, and it is crazy. Also, Highway 95 in Connecticut. I mean, Highway 90. I mean, you're talking about places that. I mean, if you've never been up there, okay, I understand that. But if you grew up over there and and you're a truck driver and you'll be in those places, these places always gonna have the highest risk of having a crash or an accident, because there's too many cars going through there. I mean, 95. I mean, 95 is basically the only way going up to New England, basically, because 84, nobody want to use 84, but that's the what they say in this. I mean, I don't understand the point of this, but it is what it is. So another piece of article that I found over here, because and this is basically they were trying to push this a long time ago, and it looks like they're trying to do this again. They want guys that between the age of 18, 19, 20 to be able to go out of the state with a commercial driver's license, because there's 49 states that allow kids that between the age of 18 and 20 to get commercial driver's license, but they're not allowed to go out of the state. Now the problem is this new proposal, and I'm guessing it's some of the big trucking companies. That's my personal opinion anyway. This new proposal wants these young guys from the age of 18 to 20 to be able to operate in the interstate. Now, I'm not against any young guy or any young person to trying to make a living and trying to better himself, because we all need to work. But let's be realistic. 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old, 20. I mean, I don't think that's a good idea to have those kids driving a semi-truck all over the United States. Because just think about it. Just think about when you were 18. You remember how reckless we used to be? How crazy we used to be? let me put it this way. There's a lot of growing up guys up here, 30, 34, 40. They have never grown up. They're still 10 years old. His mind is still back in 10 year old. You know, he's never grown up. He's still a 10-year-old kid. Okay? And they're doing a lot of stupid stuff. Just imagine an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid driving a semi-truck all over the United States, carrying, 44,000 pounds, going up on a hill, running into situations that sometimes, we have no idea how we're going to, get out of this situation. And we be driving out here. I've been driving almost 20 years. Just imagine a kid that's been driving, what, a year or 6-7 months? I don't think it's fair. I don't think that law should have passed, or whatever proposal they have. I think the House of Representatives should reject that, because that's not safe for a 18-year-old kid driving a semi-truck, 80,000 pounds. And I don't know if you guys know, but there was another petition that they want to increase the limit weight on the semi-truck. They want to increase it to 91,000 pounds. Just imagine this truck can handle 80,000 pounds right now. Just imagine 91,000 pounds. And top of that, you want to put a 18-year-old kid to operate a semi-truck. That just sounds crazy. But I'm hoping and I think some of these representatives in the House of Representatives are going to be like, nah, this is not going to happen, because I know some of them have kids around that age, and they know that these kids are really reckless, and they're not going to be paying attention. And if you guys remember when you guys were 18, because I remember when I was 22, I bought me this car. It was a little sport car. I don't know if you guys ever heard the Toyota Celica. And I bought one of those cars, and I was 22 years old. And in 1 week, I got 3 speeding tickets. And I was doing 100 miles an hour. And I was 22. And I'm thinking, like, right now, I'm 50 years old right now, and I'm thinking, like, no, I could not drive a semi-truck when I was 18, because if I would have become a truck driver when I was 18, oh my God, I would have do a lot of crazy shit, because, and excuse my language, because at that time, at that age, I was really crazy, and to me everything was fun, and I wasn't paying attention. I don't care if I was doing 100 miles an hour. All I know is I had, a nice, sport car, and, I was just going to show it off, period, But my point is like, this is not something that it shouldn't happen, guys. 18-year-old guy driving a semi-truck. Just imagine they send this guy with a load that weighs almost 89,000 pounds. No, I would have said 79,000 pounds. Let's just say 79,000 pounds to Seattle. And this guy had to use Highway 90, crossing Montana, Idaho, and Washington. All those hills, especially in the winter time. And you guys know that we've been out here for whatever years we've been out here, and we're struggling going up in those places. And some of us know a little bit of what we're supposed to do, just a little bit of what we're supposed to do. And sometimes we get into, accidents and crashes and all that. Just imagine somebody that has no experience and is 18 years old in that kind of situation. I don't want to see my 18-year-old kid in that kind of situation. So, but I'm guessing, and this is my personal opinion, I'm guessing this is some of the big companies, because the big companies are always claiming that they're short on drivers, and the reason is because they don't want to pay. Now they want to take advantage of this, young kids, because hey, if you're 18, 19, 20, you got no family, you got nobody to support, and you're making $500, $600, $700. That's a lot of money. Because hey, let's be real, This kid doesn't have to support anybody, and they know that's a good target right there. And these companies, they're always gonna try to see how they can get people to come work for them basically for free, because remember, these big trucking companies, that's how they make the money, by not paying enough money to the drivers. That's why we don't want to work for them, because they don't want to pay. So they're trying to look somewhere else somehow how to make how to get more drivers or new drivers. And now they want to push this petition, because it doesn't say here who is the person behind this petition. It just said that there's a petition passed into the House of Representatives to see if they can pass this new law. Some of these kids can go out of the state and operate in the interstate highways, which I hope is not going to pass. And I'm telling you, I know the House of Representatives is going to say no, because some of these guys are old enough to see and know that this is a ridiculous law, and this is not gonna help anybody. The only person that's gonna be getting any type of benefit on this situation, it will be the big trucking companies, because of course they're gonna hire this kid. They just want to put somebody on those trucks. That's it. And I know some of you guys will be like, well, man, Jesus, I mean, you hate the big trucking companies. I don't hate the big trucking companies, man. I hate that way they operate, that way they are, because they don't want to pay. Okay? And I know, because I'm an owner operator, but I'm basically a company, and everything is about make money. Okay? The only reason is that I'm so against with the large trucking companies, because they have the freight, they make the money, but they don't want to pay you, because they don't have to deal with brokers like we do. They get freight direct from the shipper. These people have contracts with basically all the big manufacturing companies, basically the 500 Fortune companies. They do business with these people. Okay, we have to deal with the brokers, and whatever the broker has to deal with some of these small shipping companies or whatever, small warehouse, that's what we have to deal with. So we don't make the money, they do, because if these people can afford to buy a fleet of 200 trucks at once, that means they're making money. And how they make money? By not paying the drivers, because remember, the big expenses that a trucking company has is fuel and truck and driver payroll. That's it. That's what the money is, basically. That's the majority of the money that you have to spend on fuel and driver payroll. And they know they cannot cut spending money on the fuel, because those trucks that don't run with water, they have to burn fuel. So who you think they're gonna start cutting money off? Of course they're gonna stop paying less to the driver, because like always, we easy target. If I pay this driver 46 cents a mile, well, I'm gonna see if I can get rid of this guy and bring a new guy that can pay him 35 cents. That's the way they see it. It's just an example, because I know you guys know that these guys, the new guys, they don't pay these people 46 cents a mile. They pay them like 26. I think the most they pay these new drivers is like 30 cents a mile. And top of that, they make these guys sign a contract for 2 years if they pay for the driver's license. So, but it's not a good idea. That's my personal opinion. If the Congress want to pass that petition and allow the new kids, or the 18, 20-year-old kids, to operate on the interstate, when it's nothing I can do, but just give my opinion. But it's not a good idea. That is me. Not a good idea. Well, folks, that's all I have for today. And I hope you guys be safe up there. Don't get stressed. Don't work too hard if you're not getting paid. And I'll talk to you guys in the next podcast. Goodbye. God bless.